will, and this will be on my computer, so I'll get it up and shared with everyone. So, well, hello everyone. My name is Kimberly Wilcox, and I'm excited to share with Kristen tonight. I have been coaching for 5 years, and I've known Kristen most of the time that I've been a coach, but just recently got a little more involved in Dream Big. I have a team page called Team Ignite, and I was kind of like this orphan coach from the beginning. I've never really had an active upline. I've had uplines that quit. I've, just haven't had the connection that some people do. So when you get asked to be a part of something like Dream Big, it's so special. So I'm so excited to be here. But like I said, I've been coaching for 5 years. I live in Newport News, Virginia. I have 3 boys, 13, 11, and 10. We are busy with sports. I do coach full-time. I make what I consider to be a full-time income, and it allows me to do that on a part-time basis and really be a full-time mom first. So it's been such a blessing. But I'm excited to share more about getting started right, and it's such an important time in your business, but I think it's a time that we all tend to get overwhelmed, and that's normal. So I think that through this process tonight and asking questions that might arise, or going back and watching the recording, and teaching these same things to your coaches, you'll realize that overwhelm is part of the process. That's completely normal. But listening on this call and listening to trainings doesn't build your business. You're going to build your business through action. And it was so funny. Kristen had just shared a quote from the 10X rule, right, this morning. And I don't have it in front of me, but it was this very topic as I started to prepare for the call. I was like, it's just all about taking action. If we just do calls like this and we just do trainings, but we never do the action steps that we're going to teach you guys tonight, then we're not going to see our business go forward. So that's exciting. That kind of gives you more control of your future. So let's just jump right in. So first things first, the most important job you have is to work on yourself. And this is such a blessing in this business, because every time that I might feel like I'm not doing enough or I'm not mastering all the vitals, I always have to come back to this. And my most important job is, Kimberly, are you working on you? It's the whole reason that I started as a customer, and it's the whole reason that I continued on as a coach, because I just really loved the products. I really loved the accountability. And the more you get to know the products beyond Shakeology, beyond Beachbody On Demand, and you start to drink Energize, you start to, I have bars around my house like a freak, like they're everywhere. You try, the performance line. I know I was laughing. I was like, if I drank Energize like right now, I'd be up all night. But you start to tell people about the products and the lifestyle, because you're always working on you, and it becomes so natural. So you help people change their life with the products. You tell those people they can help other people change with the products. And we create this huge ripple effect. So, when I see people in my team page that were invited by someone that I invited, that they invited, like blah, 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 like it's just amazing the amount of people that we truly can help. So being a coach, you're going to start posting on social media. You're going to start putting yourself out there. It's normal to feel nervous. I heard today it doesn't make you unique that you might feel afraid to share your journey, but what makes you unique is that you feel the fear and you do it anyways. And that goes back to that key step of action. So the vital process, though, always starts with you. And are you doing your workout? Are you drinking your Shakeology? Are you taking care of you? Because without that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. I'm far from perfect. But without those steps, it's definitely hard to be passionate and share it with other people. Let me see, make sure I got everything on that. All right. Use your resources. Okay. So using our resources is going to include your coach online office. And I wasn't going to go into the office, Kristen. I don't know if you normally do, but I actually have a decent back office tour I can share in Dream Big anytime. And there's lots of ones out there, I'm sure, on YouTube as well. But your coach online office is so great. You can there's so much trainings back there. It can be overwhelming at first, and really it's brand new to us. And like the last year they changed it all. So it's like we're getting familiar with it as well. But this is where you're going to see, you know, how to contact your upline. If you obviously should know your coach or those kind of information, you can check your volume, you can check your paychecks. This is where you would set up your EFT management, so making sure that that's set up. A lot of that's in our first trainings, but if you're not familiar with that, if you want to get set up so that you are getting your paychecks direct deposited into your account, you don't want to wait for a check to show up, which I totally did because I didn't think I'd actually get a paycheck. But so you want to get that set up so it's coming directly to you. Let's see, team page, you're all in Dream Big. I'm sure some of you might have coaches that have additional team pages, or they might have, you know, PS coach message threads. Take advantage of those things. A great thing in team pages is the little search bar. So anytime that you are searching for something specific, like you can literally go to the search bar and Dream Big and type invites, or you can type scripts, or you might even type in breastfeeding or gluten-free, and anything with that topic will come up. And it's amazing the things that I find when I'm looking for something specific that's already been posted about in the years that the groups have been open. There's so much information. If you go to the files section, if you go to the albums, I know Kristen does a great job of having, you know, frequently asked questions, or how to find coach training, or how to change your Shakeology flavor. All of that is in your team page. So it's such an amazing resource, and people are there to help you guys. So don't be afraid to ask questions and read through, you know, what other people are posting to learn from them as well. FAQ, Beachbody has their own FAQ. I think I wrote it down. It's coachfaq.com, but that's also in your back office as well. But you can get there through coachfaq.com, and anything that you're looking for that you can't find in the team page, you probably can find in FAQs. You know, if you're looking for a military waiver form, if you're looking for a coach to challenger, or challenger to coach placement switch, if you're looking to change preferred placement of a coach, anything like that that you want to do, you can find in FAQ. And last but not least, the YouTube and Google are amazing tools. And I didn't really have an upline when I started that was actively coaching or teaching or new coach training or anything like that before I kind of got hooked into people a little higher than me. And I learned so much, you guys, on YouTube and Google. Like you can get lost on there. I got lost on YouTube today following different coaches and looking at different trainings. And I don't want you to get into the habit of overtraining, because then you get away from those taking action steps. But YouTube and Google are amazing tools. I can literally Google Beachbody military waiver form, not even go to the FAQ page, and it will come up. So just know that that's available to you before you maybe ask every question to your coach or in the team page, or look for it these ways first. So national wake up calls are every Monday. They're 11 Eastern, 10 Central. I don't know what everyone's time zone is, but they're also always recorded. So they're always in the team page recorded, or you can access them on podcasts. Team calls, I think you do them every other week. Kristen, is that correct?
Yeah, usually first and third Monday, and then the last Monday is this.
Okay.
My current. Sometimes that changes.
Yeah.
Right
And
now,
so she has you have a calendar up. So, I mean, that's something that, you know, look for the team calendar, just kind of write them down, and things come up. And I know she does a call like this every month, and sometimes there'll be special calls. So there's no lack of information or training, but we definitely try our hardest, I know, to record everything too, so that people can access it on their time. So,
and Kimberly,
yeah.
Add to that the importance of plugging into things like team calls and national wake up calls, because that's where you're going to get a lot of your energy source from. Just like a battery, you know, it needs to be charged in order for it to work. And I've seen coaches who will stop showing up for things like events and team calls, and that fire can just out in you. So, always make sure that you're staying close to the energy source, which is our team page and our team calls and the National Wake Up. I can't tell you how many National Wake Up calls I've listened to where I come off and I'm like, man, like I just want to go to work and start going more after my vision, because you hear stories of other coaches who are no different than me or you. And they just started taking action, didn't give up. And that's where a lot of my vision has grown, by listening to things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I never get off a National Wake Up Call and don't have some kind of tip to implement. And it's not just like rah motivation. There's always something that it's like, I need to read that book, or I need to implement this organization system, or I need to implement this kind of inviting, or whatever it is. There's always something that you can learn from. So I wanted to go back to, just because I kind of skipped over it on the last one, but taking care of yourself. You're really going to document your journey on social media. So I really want to stress to anyone listening or watching this is that you cannot wait until you're at a goal weight, or you can't wait till you're perfectly comfortable, or that you've done all the trainings, or you've figured it all out. You just have to start sharing right away, and you don't have to know everything, and you actually never will know everything, because you're always listening to something or on a call, or on a National Wake Up Call. But you start with your close network of friends. You start with your friends and your family, and we know that you're nervous, but you tell them that you're excited, you're nervous, you want to do this with them. You don't have to come from a place where I know everything and I'm going to be your coach. You come from a place that this is something that I'm excited about. This is something that I'm doing. I would love for you to be my accountability partner. I would love for you to do it with me. And when you start to share something, taking care of yourself, when you're, when I went back to thinking about when I first started, and I was so excited about my results. I had lost 25 pounds and 25 inches in 3 months from, following a program for 90 days. And I was excited. Like I didn't really know what coaching was or what it could do for me. I knew that I was going to get 25% off my Shakeology, but I started sharing in such a natural way because I was passionate and excited about the products and what they had done for me. And you guys do this on your own already. And for some reason, when you're getting paid for it, or you have this label of coach on you, you might kind of get nervous. But I always think about my parents owned restaurants growing up. So when you open a restaurant, like, you tell everyone that you are opening this restaurant, and you hope that the word of mouth spreads, but you're not shy about it. You're very comfortable about it. And when someone asks you, like, loves your eyeshadow or your mascara or a shirt you're wearing, if you love it, you tell them where you got it. You're not scared. You're not nervous. You are in love with the product, and you share it. And that's why when you're always working on you, and you're making sure you're doing your workout, and you're making sure you're drinking your shake, and you're making sure that you're doing your performance line, or whatever products that you just fall in love with, there's so many out there, it becomes so natural to start to share it more genuinely. So I just wanted to go back and touch on that. Okay, so the 4 vital behaviors, you'll hear us talk about these all the time. So you'll always hear us refer to the 4 vital behaviors, and let's just go through them. So 1 is to be a product of the product, which, I've kind of talked a lot about already. So you do your workout daily, you drink your shake daily, you follow whatever program it is that you're doing, and you show up and you share that. I don't think that does not mean by any means that I should go to your social media and see just Beachbody and just pictures of your shake and just your workout. But if it's something that you are doing in this part of your journey, it's definitely something you want to scroll through and see on your post. And that goes to share, connect, and invite. So sharing your journey on social media, starting conversations, and actually sending the invite. So inviting is scary, but it's actually mutually scary, meaning the other person on the other side is probably watching you and looking at what you're doing as you share on social media, and they're scared to reach out. They're scared to be the one to contact you. So you have to look at it that way and realize that you are making an impact on the right person's life at the right person's at the right time. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get no's. No's is part of the business. It doesn't mean you're not going to get no response, like people that go crickets on you. It doesn't mean you're not going to have objections, which we'll talk more about as well. But it's just part of the process, and you have to start inviting. You can't expect to post and people to flock to you. You can't expect people to even see all your posts or know what you're doing. So I love the share, connect, and invite. So you share on social media, you connect with people that are liking your posts or commenting on your posts, and you send that personal invitation. So we have tons of scripts and to help you with that and to get started. And I know your coaches or other coaches in Dream Big are ready to help too.
Yeah, I heard a really good analogy about this today, actually, in one of my mastermind groups. We were talking about different ways of inviting. And it's funny because we all have different ways of doing it, but we all do it. But one of the things someone said was, if someone keeps liking your posts or keeps following your stories, it's almost like if you own a store and that person's like walking outside the window and keeps looking in but won't come inside. If you're a store owner, you're gonna be like, can I help you? You know? And it's the same thing if people continue to watch your stories. Sometimes they're just nervous to reach out to you. And that's all it takes, is just you connecting with them and saying, hey, I see you following my stories. Thank you for the support. It really means a lot to me. Have you considered getting started with me? Or have you considered joining in on my Lift 4 group, or whatever you've been talking about on your stories? Whatever feels appropriate, based on what they've been watching. But don't be afraid to actually hit send, you guys, because I wouldn't be here today if someone hadn't actually reached out to me and asked me to be here.
Exactly. So. And I even wrote that social media is our storefront. And if they go to your storefront, whether that's Instagram stories, or Facebook, and they don't see you doing the actions and they don't see that you're a coach, then they don't know that you're open for business. If you don't send that personal invite, they don't know that you're available to help them. So reach out to people. I know it becomes much less scary the more that you do it. It's just new. It's just not part of your normal, you do this every day, but in 5 years from now, like Kristen and me, it'll be something you do every day, and it will not be as scary as it might be in the beginning. So personal development, so important. I hear so many coaches skip this step. Luckily, it's like one of my favorite things of the vital behavior, so I don't normally skip it, but I can even tell where it's like I need to change up what I'm reading or something different. So I do change up what I'm reading. I read a lot of not even necessarily motivational books as much as I'll go through phases where I read a lot about nutrition and fitness. I read a lot about, gut health or hormone health, or, I turned 40 this year. So just lots of changes in metabolism or whatever it is. So I try to do things that you're interested in and you're passionate about. And just because someone else loves a book doesn't mean you're going to love it. But we have so many amazing options to get you started with personal development. So 10 minutes a day will change your life. I've heard many times in the things I've read and listened to that the books that you read this year will shape what next year looks like for you. And I always think about that when I finish a book. I'm like, I'm going to implement this and I'm going to put it into my life, and my life will look different next year because of it. So personal development's huge. And the last one is recognition. Celebrate successes along the way of people, of yourself, on your team, of people that are helping you out. Maybe you're just starting and you don't have a team. Recognize people that are helping you out. Give them a shout out. Cheer them on. Recognize people in your challenge groups. Recognize people, coaches above you and below you and beside you. And there'll be lots of like rank announcements and things like that. But really, it's important to kind of recognize your own accomplishments too. I get excited when someone makes their first $50 and they recognize that, because that's a big deal. What can $50 do for you? What could $50 a week do for you? When you start to recognize that in yourself and other people, those are things that attract people. When you go with that share, connect, invite, it helps you. I always say attract, connect, invite, so it's similar, but it helps you attract people that are following your story or liking your posts on these kind of things, recognizing other, and it feels good. It's right up there with gratitude. You know, if you start each day with 3 things that you're grateful for and really focus on why am I grateful for these things, you will just lead a happier life. The research shows it. I know it's absolutely true. So that goes right along with recognition and gratitude. So anything else on this page, Kristen?
No.
Okay.
If you ask a successful coach though out there, how did they do it? I mean, they're going to say, well, it all just boils down to the vital behaviors. It's just some are just doing it with higher intensity than others. But you don't put the recipe out, because I mean, a coach will come to me and say, well, I'm really struggling with X, Y, Z. And I'm like, what are you doing for personal development? And they're like, well, I'm not. Yeah. And that's, that's a problem.
Yeah, I love the simple analogy of making like macaroni and cheese. So you have like the noodles and you have the cheese and you have the butter and we'll have to find one other thing you put in there, water to boil it or whatever. But if you leave one thing out, it's just not the same mac and cheese. Like you're either missing the cheese or you're missing the noodles or you're missing the water. And so you didn't even boil them. Like it's all an important step. So it's really important to say a lot of times when I ask my team, well, what is it that you're missing? It's the actual invite. Like they're not inviting, they're posting on social media, they're doing personal development, they're even sharing their journey, but they're not inviting anyone to join them. So all of those are just so, so important. So your first goal as a coach is to help 3 people get started with a program, and Shakeology or a challenge pack is usually the best option for people. We're definitely here to help people find what's the best fit for them, but wow, a challenge pack is for sure the best value. I mean, when you're talking about getting, a year of on-demand and a bag of Shakeology for, is it $180 right now? I know it can alter. But that is an amazing deal. I know people that pay more for fitness classes or a gym a month than that. And so usually the challenge pack is going to be the best deal for someone. But by helping 3 people, this means you will hit Success Club. You must have 90 personal volume to officially hit Success Club, and that comes from your Shakeology. It can come from a variety of things. You could get it from ordering, 3 boxes of bars. You might be doing the performance line. You might drink the Boost. I really enjoy a lot of the Boost. I actually take Soothe and Optimize, which are supplements from Ultimate Reset that you can continue taking. So there's a lot of benefits in those. But we have tons of options as far as to get your personal volume. If you hit Success Club your first 3 months, you get a free ticket to Summit. So even if let's say that you started in July, it'll actually be your first full month. So you would have August, September, October to hit SC5 or above. So if you help 3 people get started with a challenge pack, you'd have SC6 and you'd get a free ticket to Summit next year, which is exciting. And when you start with your friends and family, I think I touched on this earlier, while you grow your cold market, but you have this nice hot market, you have this nice warm market of people that you don't have to generally get to know for weeks at a time or months, or you don't have to earn their trust. Like they already know you. So a question I hear a lot is, I just got started my journey. How do I help others? That's really the perfect opportunity to help others. It takes the pressure off like wearing that coach hat, and you're able to reach out to friends and family and just say, hey, I'm doing this. I'm loving it. Would you want to do it with me and be my accountability partner? Or I'm stepping out and running my first group. I would love for you to be a part of it. I would love your support. Do you want to do this with me for the next couple months? It makes for like an easy invitation. And like I said, you don't have to be perfect or be at your goal or anything like that. I think people actually enjoy seeing you go through the process and doing it with you, rather than you already being at your goal weight or already being there and not knowing how you got there. And everyone has a different story. Like I love watching Kristen's story, because she'll often say, like either in trainings or on social media, like she's never had a huge amount of weight to lose. She's had 4 beautiful babies and had to come back from that. But that wasn't my story. I've always struggled with my weight. I still struggle with my weight. So I have a different way of sharing, and I fluctuate. I go up and down, and I've had health issues. I've had other struggles, but that's part of my journey. And those are the people that I connect with. And I have people in my groups even tell me, like, I love that you're doing this with us, Kimberly. Like, I love that your goal is to lose 8 pounds this month too, because that's my goal and we can do it together. No one's ever like, well, I don't want you to be my coach because you want to lose 8 pounds too. They enjoy it. They enjoy that I'm right there next to them. So you'll start to connect with your tribe and your ideal customer or your avatar, or whatever. You'll hear it called different things, but there's people out there that want to work with you. I promise you that. So, all right. How and why Success Club? So how to hit Success Club. Any combination that equals 5 points or more means you hit Success Club. And these are how you earn points. So Challenge Pack is the most popular option, I would say. But someone might just want to start on Shakeology. It has to be on Home Direct. Why would someone not do Home Direct? I know people get nervous, like they don't want the constant shipment. There's no, as you guys should know or do know, there's no contracts. They can cancel at any time. It's super simple to stop their Shakeology or put it on hold, or I'll have people, maybe put it or get a bag every other month. I've had people do that. But Daily Sunshine HD, Performance Line, Home Direct, 3 cartons of Beach Bars, which we fly through with 3 boys, so a lot of people would love that. Any combo of Home Direct products that total that is 1 point. So there's lots of options here. Once you're Emerald, which we'll touch on in a bit, they lead, and Success Club leads to customer leads, SC leads, the free summit ticket we talked about. They have prizes every month. They actually have a new system now, so it's like a tiered. So if you were to hit Success Club 5 this month or next month, the first prize is a hat. This is all new. And then I think it's, I don't know, do you know, like a duffel bag maybe?
I don't know. I don't even remember. I have to look at it. We need to add that to this because I don't have.
You're right. It's brand. It's just starting. It's just starting. So it's super cute though. I'm like, I want the hat. I want the duffel bag. So, yeah. They always are doing some kind of prizes, so that might change up. But it's always fun to get some free stuff. And my shelves are full of bobbleheads and books and all the things that I've acquired over the years. So,
my new bobblehead, yeah.
I haven't got my new. Oh no, I did just get it. I did just get Joel. Where's Joel? I was gonna show. I did just get Joel. All right. Okay. So step 1, commit to a challenge group start date. You can either host your own group, you can team up with another coach, you can get added into one of our groups that is up and running. Some people want to like break out and do their own, and other people, I always encourage someone to like team up with someone. 5 years later, I just teamed up with Kristen for the Lift 4 one. Like, it's fun to work with other people and just get surrounded by different people. I get different ideas. I get remotivated because sometimes challenge groups can be the same over and over and over. So I encourage you to hook up with different people, get into other people's groups. But when you get into a group, maybe with, your coach or Kristen or anyone in the team, offer to help. Like, what can you do? Can you like post a certain day? Can you set up a recipe folder that you add to? Like, how can you add value to the group? Because that's greatly appreciated. Jab, Jab, Right Hook is actually a wonderful personal development book to put on your list. But you share along the way, you tell the story and your call to actions, why you started, how is it helping you. You tell them what you're doing, but then you still have to send the invite. Like you said, like Kristen said, you have to look at who's peering through the window, who keeps liking, who keeps watching your stories, who keeps commenting on your posts. They're curious. They really are. So reach out to them and at least start the conversation. That's might be all that it is right now, but now you have their name on a list. You're starting a relationship with them, you're building trust, and people need to know, like, and trust you if they're going to buy anything from you. So as you start to develop those relationships, you'll have a bigger and bigger funnel, so to speak. So this is a post of Kristen. Do you want to talk about it for a minute, girl?
Well, one thing I wanted to say is don't just put up one call to action post and think like that's all you need to do all month.
Yeah.
Because I do many, especially when I'm gearing up for needing to fill up my next challenge group, which is like right now. We're about to be into August. So I am like heavily focused on inviting, and I switched my focus to a lot of my posts are now surrounded by talking about my fitness journey, talking about my upcoming group. And so I may do like a blatant call to action, like, hey, my next group's starting, but sometimes they're more subtle. Like I share my story, and then just like, oh, by the way, I have a group starting. If you're ready to get some help, reach out to me. But you want to do that several times throughout the week. The way Facebook works, you guys, and Instagram similar. I mean, not a very large percentage of your audience is going to see it. So just because you post something one time, don't think that, oh, nobody wants to do it. It could just be that the reach wasn't very good that time because of the time of day you put it on or whatever, but only about 7% of your audience sees it. And it takes people, 7 to 8 times of being exposed to something and continuing to see something before they're actually going to take action on it. So don't think that you're being annoyed by talking about it more than one time in a month, because most people are not seeing it. And once you start posting, or you do send an invite and you get an objection, like, you have to change the way you view objections and no's. Like we're doing a no is no problem challenge in our group, our team page right now, because you almost want to welcome them, because it's like, okay, I planted that seed and now that person's going to watch me that much more closely. So I've got to stay on my game and continue to show up and be consistent, because they're going to watch. And when it is the right time, they'll come back to you because you've been consistent. Or maybe you reach back out at another time and it'll be the right time in their life. I have a coach signing up this week that she was actually a customer lead. And we talked probably a year ago, and she wasn't ready to commit right then, but now she's like, hey, I've been watching, I've seen you talking about this Lift 4 thing, I need help, let's do this. So I mean, yeah. Again, someone who had to watch me a year, she didn't know me at all, right? Like a customer lead, Beachbody gave me to her, we started following each other on Facebook. So I had to build that trust with her first.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the other notes that I took on this is just to, you guys pick a start date, get with someone, or find out when the next groups are starting so you can start planting these seeds that Kristen's talking about 2 or 3 weeks out from now. And in that time, you can take people on a journey with you. You can start talking about Lift 4, and maybe you're doing Lift 4, or maybe you're in the middle of 80-day obsession, or maybe you're going to start tomorrow and do 21-day fix, and you're going to share about it leading up to your 21-day fix group. Whatever it is, you just have to share the story. And some will join you, some will watch you. Even without lots of likes and comments, people are always watching. And I know it's tempting to wait until you finish 21-day fix, or you finish 80-day obsession, or you finish Lift 4. So you have these amazing results to share. But like I said, people want to see you in the process. They don't want to just see the before and after. They want to see the middle. Like, that's where people miss out, is sharing how you got from A to B, what you're learning along the way, like why you're getting up and doing the workout even though you want to hit snooze, why you chose to work out at home because it's so difficult or so expensive to get to the gym with little ones, or whatever your reasons are. You want to share those. So if you're not ready to do a group alone, definitely pair up with people or ask when the next groups are. And public invites and call to actions are great, but in the beginning, you're not going to fill your funnel and you're not going to fill your groups just doing those. You're going to have to invite in a private message, and you have to get over any fear that you have over that. And that's just by taking action and by doing it. And I listened to a girl today, and she said, You have to get over other people's opinion of you, because other people's opinion don't pay your bills, and other people's opinion don't grow your business. So that's a really good thing to remember. And I still have butterflies on certain conversations I have or certain invites that I send. But I was just telling Summer Tucker today, we were talking about inviting on a call, and in 5 years, I've never died from sending an invite. I'm still here. So you can do it too. You'll be okay, I promise. So this comes to your first invite. So become a conversation expert. Your goal is to connect with 3 people a day or 20 people a week. I think this is a great goal. It's extremely realistic. And all of a sudden you've invited 80 people or started conversations or planted a seed. 80 conversations at the end of the month, when 80 might sound like a lot coming into August 1st, but if you're breaking it down to 3 people a day, you'll find that you're doing more and more. I mean, I probably talked to 20 people today, so it will increase for sure, but this is such a great place to start. So you're not reaching out to close them, you're just reaching out to open the door, to plant the seed, to start the conversation. Be brief, be excited, and every message with a call to action question. So this is where I think some new people might struggle, and they're like, I'm not getting any responses, or the conversation is just dying. It's probably because you're not ending with a CTA call to action. Hold on, sorry.
Somebody.
I got it, I think. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So a simple question, just like, sorry, I got thrown off.
Making sure you end with a call to action in your messages.
Yeah, just like, where do you feel like you struggle, or what are some of the obstacles do you think that you need help overcoming, or how is your nutrition so far, or do you get tired during the day? Do you feel like you need a pick me up in the afternoon? Like any kind of question that you can end with, as opposed to, if you reach out and you're like, hey girl, thanks for, following my stories. I love seeing your face on there. Like, how have you been? That's a question to get you started. But if you just say thank you and nothing else, like they don't really have a reason to respond. So it's always good to, how can I end this with a question for something for them to write me back? Even if it's a happy birthday message, like, do you have any fun plans, as opposed to happy birthday, like something, you doing anything fun to celebrate this weekend, something to get the conversation going. So find their need before you fix their need. Ask a lot of questions and take your time. This is important. A lot of times we want to be so in a rush and think we have the solution to their need. Maybe we think it's the challenge pack, or we think it's, BOD or whatever we think it is, but we don't even, do you really know what their need is? Like, is Beachbody On Demand going to fill their need if they love their gym and they love what they're doing, but where they're really struggling is nutrition or eating breakfast, and maybe we need to start talking more about Shakeology specifically. Or maybe they don't have the Energize, and you're like, oh, I need to tell them about Energize, and they don't have energy, you need to tell them about Energize. Or maybe they don't get their vegetables in and they need the greens boost added to their shake. So you really have to figure out what is their need, and you do that by asking lots and lots of questions. So recognize and welcome objections as part of the process. So I love to talk about objections. This could be a whole call, so I won't bore you. But they are just part of the process. Like, if you go into a conversation knowing that some of them are going to be no, and that most of them are going to have some kind of objection, it just makes it easier because it's coming. So I'm not trying to invite them. I feel like the better you get at asking these questions and having the call to actions and fixing people's needs and knowing what their goals are, you'll have less objections. But you're going to have objections. You're going to have objections on cost. You're going to have objections on, I don't want to drink that shake, or I already do this workout, and you're going to have objections. So it's just part of the process, and it just means you need to slow down and add more value. Make sure that you're adding value. And I wrote down something specific on this. I don't know. You will get objections. People will say it costs too much. We'll help you, we'll help you overcome them in trainings and scripts. There's lots of scripts on all of this, but use the scripts, like make them your own. But we've been through this. Like something I use real briefly on objections is called the feel, felt, found method. And so when someone tells me, I don't know, that seems really expensive. Someone told me that today. That seems really expensive. I have to think about it. Well, I use feel, felt, found. Like I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I found XYZ. So I'll go into more detail, but I know just how you feel. Like when I bought a challenge pack and it was $180, I was like, I can do this on my own. Thank you very much. And then 3 months went by and I gained more weight, and I felt like you felt, but I found once I finally said yes, and I wish I hadn't waited 3 months and gained 10 more pounds, that it really wasn't that expensive because I stopped eating out as much. I stopped going to get the drive-through. I stopped drinking as much wine as I was drinking, and all of this I added up for them. I'm like, I was like actually saving money by buying myself a challenge pack. So I use that method a lot. So use the scripts to guide you. There's tons in the team page. And in the trainings, don't be afraid of the cost. It's an amazing, amazing value. The more confident you are with that, it's easy. I don't get nervous about price because I'm like, girl, you are crazy if you think $180 for 500 plus workouts, 30 days of super shakes, is a bad deal. Like, what are you spending your money on now? And if you don't take action, where are you going to be in 3 months? Where are you going to be in a year from now? Like, I ask those hard questions of people. I don't send them my link right away. I've had these conversations. I've gone through objections. I've found out what they're missing so I can fix their need. And most importantly, don't show up and throw up. I'm sure Kristen and I have many, many examples of doing this in the beginning where I look back and it's like pages of information, and people are probably like, oh, no wonder you didn't buy because you didn't have an hour to read my response to you. But you can be brief and still informative by asking questions. I want them, I want to ask the questions to get them talking and really discovering why they need me so much. Because when I start hearing them say, that they're tired, or that they just can't get this baby weight off, or that they're struggling with migraines, like I'm starting to see where I can fix the problem. So, and follow up forever. Follow-up is another topic we could talk about for a long time. Follow-up really is the key. Like Kristen said earlier, like most people need to see or hear something 7 or 8 times. That's really true, and that really happens in the follow-up. So just because I get a no is just a not right now. It's not the right time. Something that I read at some point in PD is finding people at their 12 o'clock. So, sometimes you come in with an invite and they're at like this 12:05. Well, I need to follow up with them until they're back at their 12 o'clock. Because if you stop following up with them when they're at 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I guarantee you another coach that they know somewhere along the way is going to come in and get them at 11:59 when they are ready. I've sent messages to follow up with people after not hearing back from them for months, and I just keep checking in, and many, many times I get a response that's like, I need to do this. Like, I need to do this now. I caught that person at the right time when they were ready, but that's not going to happen if you get a no and you're like, okay, I'm never talking to them again, or I'm never inviting them again. Just like Kristen's lead that wasn't ready at the time. A year later, she's ready. We have lots of examples of that, and that's a wonderful reason why you have to commit to, being here a year from now or 2 years from now, or, mine went from I'll be here a year from now to I'll be here from 5 years from now. And now that it's been 5 years, I'm like, okay, I'll do it another 5 years. So, but you just have to wait for people to be ready at the right time. So, all right.
Yeah. And it's not like we're just selling a facial cream, which, we are selling something that can truly make such a difference in their lives, you guys. And sometimes that, fitness, it can be such a personal journey too. And while I'm excited about it and I love to work out, some may not be in that frame of mind yet, but they will be. Everybody needs health and fitness. Everyone needs to take care of themselves, but they've got to be in a place that they are ready to start. So be patient and continue to show up and give hope every day. Because like Kimberly said, they will come around at their 12 o'clock. That's a good example. All right, so let's talk about your first goal, Success Club. Your second goal as a coach is getting to Emerald. And so I'm going to explain to you what exactly that is. Emerald is the start of you building your team. It's you plus 2 other coaches. Don't overthink how getting to Emerald is going to happen. It's simple, you guys. You want to do it within the first 30 days, but honestly, you could do this in the next 24 hours. You find one person, and the recommendation is if you're married, sign up your spouse. If you're not married, sign up someone else that you really love and care about, like your mom or your aunt, or your sister, or your best friend. And there's a lot of reasons why. I'll just talk about the spouse example, why signing your spouse up early is very important. That's kind of like another training we can go into a lot of detail on. But you're going to, if you're wanting to build a business, you're thinking long term, you want your spouse at the top of your downline, because you're going to then be placing coaches underneath them. And those coaches will be placing coaches underneath them. And that is going to contribute to your spouse's volume. And so now, I've built Greg's team, and he's a diamond coach. And just in cycling, not commission, just in cycling, he's making like $4,000 a month. Just cycling. Okay. And so that's part of the power in building a team, is you're going to be able to start to tap into the cycle bonuses. So as a new coach, and your main source of income is going to be commission. That's 25% commission on anything that someone orders from you. But the other way that we earn is through team cycle bonuses. And so basically for every $300 in volume that comes in, you are going to earn $14 a cycle as an Emerald, and 16 as a Ruby, and 18 as a Diamond coach. I said that right, correct? Okay. And so I know in the beginning that sounds small, like, oh, only $14. Well, over time that grows. Okay. That is now where most of my income comes from. I make over $200,000 a year now. Like 3% is my commission. Okay, most of that is now team cycling. So as you build your team and you help your coaches do well, you're going to be able to cycle more. So you got to think long-term vision there. So this is what an Emerald coach is. It's you plus 2 people. Ruby is you plus 4 coaches, and 2 of those need to get Emerald. And then Diamond is you with 4 coaches. You have to have 4 on your left, 4 on your right, and 2 of those need to be Emerald as well. And this has it mapped out, like go Emerald in your first 30 days, go Ruby in 60 days, Diamond in 90 days. That's a good goal to aim for. And if you think about it as, hey, if I just go Emerald every single month, meaning I add 2 people to my team every single month, you're eventually going to be a Diamond coach and beyond. The way cycling works as well, I mentioned that it's 300 in volume. 100 has to come from one side, and 200 has to come from the other side to equal 300, and you get a cycle. And if there's volume left over, you never lose that. So unless you go inactive, you always want to remain as an active coach, or you're going to flush all volume that you have accumulated that's sitting there down the tube. You don't want to do that. Anything to add to that, Kimberly?
No.
Okay. And I know cycling, you may be thinking, I am so confused on what that is. There's a goofy video you can watch on cycling that explains it and dumbs it down for you. So I highly recommend looking that up, or we can post it for you later. So this is what, again, another visual of what Emerald is. You need to be active with 50 PV, and you need a coach on your left, coach on your right. They both need to have 50 PV as well. Talk to your coach about where to place coaches. I usually recommend putting your spouse on the weak leg, and there's a reason for that, but talk to your coach about what they recommend for you as well. All right, so let's talk about how do you get your first coaches signed up. Usually your first coaches are going to be people who are close to you, that you can be like, hey, I'm doing this, I need you to do this with me. So this is a good example, and just modify this to fit you. But you could send them something like, hey, I'm starting up this new part-time business I'm excited about. I think it can be it's going to be a game changer. And I have huge dreams about where it's going to take me and my family. I run these amazing health and fitness groups with my team to help others get healthy and re-energized. You should see some of the transformations. I'm wanting you to try it with me for 30 days. And you can even tell them, like, you don't have to be a long-term customer or anything like that, although we hope that they will. I just want your honest feedback and experience, as well as to see amazing results you get with us. So it's like, hey, I want you to do this with me, and you're going to benefit from it in the process. And then I want you to give me your honest feedback. Can I count on you? So this would be an invite you could send to like your best friend or your mom, and just change the wording to sound like how you would say it. But be confident in it. Be excited about what you're doing, and then see what they say. And then they're probably going to ask, like, well, what do I have to do? And you can talk to them about, what workout program you're going to do, or which one you think would be a good fit for them. And then I would let them know. And by the way, if you're going to do it, I think you should sign up to be a coach as well. And let them know that the $40 coach fee is going to be waived. You don't have to do anything ever, and you can even quit after a month if you want. There's no contracts. Want to transform with me over the next month. But most people don't get going and quit. Most people come on board as a coach and stay because they love the community. But this is, again, an initial invite for someone that's really close to you, that just to get you to Emerald. And then you don't just get to Emerald and then you quit. Okay. The goal is to get to Emerald and you keep trying. I mean, you don't quit inviting. You keep inviting to your team because, guys, coaches will cancel. Coaches will go inactive. That happens. I have coaches on my downline, same thing, that they've gone inactive or they cancel. Is part of the process, but I have to continue to moving forward and growing my team because, you can't just depend on getting 2 people signed up and that they'll be there forever. All right, next slide, please. I don't think I can do that. All right, so a little bit more on social media, on the importance of sharing your journey. You are a coach, but that's not all you are. You want to make sure that you are continuing to show up and add value on your social media, but also talk about other things. There's more to you than just fitness. Talk about, do you love wine? Do you like, I always think of Nicole Grafton when she first started. She was really into cloth diapering. So she talked about cloth diapers. That's not her niche now, but it was. Mine is a lot about having 4 little girls. I'm a girl mom, kind of a fashionista, dry shampoo. I'm a Texas girl. I'm a military spouse. All of those things are other parts of my life that I share, and people connect with me in those ways. And the cool thing is, even if they connected with me as a military spouse, again, everybody needs health and fitness. So eventually, people tend to be like, hey, I've been watching this other side of your life. Like, what is it that you're doing? I need some help. And then think about, when you post, what makes you different than other coaches. We all drink Shakeology. We all are working out. We all are running challenge groups, right? That's what it makes you the same as everybody else. And if that's the way you're posting, that gets kind of like white noise, right? But you want to make sure that you're also posting about the things that make you different. What stands you apart from other coaches? Okay, good night. Sorry.
It's time for nap.
Okay, go to bed. I'll be up there in a little bit.
I want to sleep with you.
No, you gotta go upstairs. Sorry, y'all. Hang on. Huh? I will come.
I always tell my coaches to, just think of things that make you different, that, what makes you you. So like Kristen was saying hers, but like I'm a mom of 3 boys, and I talk about their sports and having 3 boys. I talk about my dog, like I'm a little obsessed with schnauzers, but jobs you've had or hobbies you have, or if you're into hair or makeup, military spouse is a good one. places that you've lived, places that you move. Like, I love to travel. I'm definitely a beach girl. Like, we're always going somewhere or doing something. And whenever I run into someone that follows me on social media, that's one of the first things people say to me. They're like, you're always somewhere. Well, that's a big part of what I share. Like, even if it's like away for a swim meet, like, I'm really focusing on like, we're here and we ate here, and sharing that kind of stuff in my story. So people are like, you're always somewhere. Like, even though it might be the most boring place ever. So, because I like to go places and do things. So that's one of my things for sure.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Next slide. All right. And then when it comes to social media, be patient and be consistent. We've kind of talked about that, but know that when you first start posting, you may not get a lot of likes and comments. Heck, even now, sometimes I'll put up a post and I'm like, 1 like? Come on, guys. That was a good post. And I mean, Facebook's weird sometimes, honestly, the way that community is. But don't take it personal. Don't think that nobody cares. Sometimes people see it and they're just not liking, commenting. Sometimes it was just the wrong day. So you do want to pay attention to, okay, if you try posting at 6 in the morning and it didn't get good traction, maybe the next time you try at like 8 in the morning, or you try at 9 at night, and figure out what time of the day your niche, meaning like people that are like you and on social media, when are they on? I think this morning I posted pretty early a call to action, and it did really good. So if I try to post like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, it may not do as well. So think about that time of day. You want to personalize your posts, share the story. Again, don't just be like, oh, I did lift 4 day 1 today, back and buys. Like, that's not adding any value. Think more about why you're doing something versus what you're doing. You don't want to say the name of your products in all of your posts, because what are people going to do? They're going to be like, oh, what is Lift 4? Or what is Shakeology? And they're going to Google it, and they could decide for themselves, oh, that's expensive, I'm not going to do it. Or they will be like, oh, I can order that on Amazon and it doesn't go through you. So I want to create curiosity in my post to where they're like, what is this 4-day-a-week program she's talking about? Or what is a superfood shake? So that they have to ask me what it is. And I can then reach out to them personally and start talking to them about, what are your goals, or why were you asking? So if somebody comments on, for example, a challenge group call to action post, I don't message them and say, here's what we're doing in our group, you should totally do this, here's a link to order, let me know if you want to join. It is, you have to slow down. I say to them, hey, thanks so much for the support of my post. Tell me what made you reach out. What made you interested? And so then I get them talking. I want to know what their goals are. There was some reason that they asked me about it, and I need to find out what that reason is so that I can best help them. So make sure your pictures are eye-catching. You don't want your pictures to be dark. You need good lighting. That does matter. Try to get rid of some of the clutter in the background. Vary up your post. Don't do the same selfie every single day. Prop your phone up, get you a little, tripod. I got one for like $10 on Amazon, or sometimes it's literally like I've got my phone propped up against my shaker cup. And try to take some variation with your pictures. All of that does matter. You want things to be scroll stopping, to where most people are on their phones, right? That's where they're looking at Instagram and Facebook. So you want to take pictures that are going to make them be like, oh, what is that? Like, it stands out and pops to them. You don't need to post flyers. Don't post links to your website. Don't put stock photos from Beachbody. All of that just screams sales, and it's not personalized. Believe me, I've done those things. If you've done those things, just move on. We've all done it. Just don't continue to do it. And I was actually talking to Megan. She helps me with social media today. And one of the things that, she did a call with Facebook. I guess Facebook does like free calls sometimes. And one of the things they said was, don't post flyers, like a very professional looking picture that's like a call to action to your challenge group isn't going to do as well as just like a regular picture of you. And I've definitely found that for myself. If I try to do a call to action that looks super fancy, like super official, kind of flyerish, it doesn't do well. My audience likes a super simple, me and my everyday elements, sweaty workout with my kids surrounding me. That catches their attention more than me holding a sign, join my challenge group. That just gets nothing. All right. Any questions about any of that, you guys? Feel free to ask, if anything's popping up. Let's see if I left anything out. But yeah, stay consistent with sharing your journey, because like I said, it may be white noise in the beginning, but over time, you're going to gain trust with your audience, and that traction will pick up. And you do need to make sure you're posting every day as well, because of engagement with your post. That again, Facebook's like, oh, people like your stuff, like they're commenting on things. So they're going to push that into people's news feeds more. If you disappear for a month, then it's like you've lost a lot of that traction with Facebook or with Instagram. And so now you got to build that back up again. And when people do like and comment on your stuff, or if they comment on something, reply back to them. That keeps it up in the news feed. That's going to show it to more people. Facebook says, oh, they're having a conversation. They like each other. So guess what? Now your stuff's going to be shown to that person more often. So all those little tricks you just need to be aware of, and how to create more engagement on your stuff. So sometimes we want to just post and like run away and hide. It's like, oh my gosh, that was scary. But you really do want to try to stay there, and if someone comments, reply back. And sometimes I let other coaches know, like, hey, I got a call to action post. Can y'all go show it some love? And they'll just, you don't want to like fake and be like, oh, I'll join your challenge group. We don't do that. It's more like, hey, thank you so much for being a support to me and cheering one another on. And then that helps get it going in the newsfeed for you. All right. Fitness versus your business journey. They're very similar. Okay. So let's talk about that with your fitness journey. Just like, when we're trying to get in shape and we're trying to lose weight, it doesn't happen overnight, right? We have to show up every day, and we have to push play. We've got to eat healthy food. We've got to drink our Shakeology. All of those things matter. You also have to track what you're doing in your fitness journey to see results. If you're not tracking when you're working out or what you're eating and putting in your body, how do you know where you need to adjust? It's twofold. You can't just focus on the workouts and then eat hamburgers and French fries and ice cream every day. You're not going to get the results that you want. You've got to work on both sides. And as soon as you stop doing your fitness journey and eating healthy, your results start getting further and further away. And with your fitness journey, comparison is a thief of joy. Like if you're in your challenge groups and like, oh my gosh, this person's already like, skinny and fit, and I'm over here needing to lose 30 pounds. And you just like, it gets frustrating, right? You don't want to compare. Okay, because you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. Everybody's on their own journey and has their own set of struggles, and sometimes you don't always know what those struggles are. So stay in your lane, stay focused on your journey, and like we talked about at the beginning, the recognition piece is so important, recognizing your successes and wins along the way. And don't overcomplicate it. What we're doing is very simple. You work out, you drink your shake, you plug into your challenge group. Be the best challenger you can be. So all of these things are very similar with your business, right? You've got to commit to being here in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. I've been here for 6.5 years doing this, and I love it. Like it has gone, I can't even believe it's been 6.5 years, but I certainly didn't get to where I am now overnight, and it didn't even happen in a year. Within a year, I had some good traction, and I was making a few $100s a month, but it took 2.5, 3 years to replace my teaching income. So again, not overnight, but if I had stopped, that would have never happened. So don't stop. You have to track to see results. If you're not tracking how many invites you're sending a month, if you're not tracking who you're talking to, how do you know where to adjust and how to improve? I tell my coaches all the time, if you're missing Success Club, you got to look, what'd you do the month before? If you invited 20 people in July and you hit Success Club 2, then that means, okay, in August, we need to up that up to 40, 50, 60 people to try to get a better ratio, right? Because about for every 10 invites you send, you're going to get 1 to 2 people to say yes. It may be better than that, but you've got to plant a lot of seeds. All right, success is twofold. You're going to be posting publicly about what you're doing, but you also have to be sending those invites and connecting with people behind the scenes. You guys see, me and Kimberly showing up in the team page. You see us posting on social media and sharing our story. But what you don't see is I'm up every single morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, doing a power hour, power 2 hours. And that is like what I do first thing every single day. And I have for 6.5 years, you guys, sending my invites, sending my follow-ups, connecting with people. So you don't always see that, but those things are going on still. And as soon as you stop, again, the results get further away. You have to show up every day and do it consistently. Don't compare, again, your coaching journey with another coach out there. Some coaches are going to move faster than you. Goodness gracious, I've had coaches move faster than me. There's been coaches who have been in the business, much less than me, who are higher in rank and whatever. Like we all are on our own journey and have different things going on in our life. So we're all working at different rates, and that's okay. And everyone comes in with different skill sets as well. Some may have already had a huge social media following. You just don't know. And again, don't overcomplicate it. Drink your shake. Be a product of the product. Work out. Share your story and share it with other people and invite them to join you. All right. Okay. We're almost done. Thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. We talk a lot, but we love it. So ask yourself, what would you do with an extra $800 a month? Okay. I could do a lot of things with an extra $800 a month, but let's break it down so you guys can see how this can grow over time. Let's say in month 1, remember we talked about hitting Success Club. Let's say you hit Success Club. You help 3 people get started that month. You're going to get about $50 per challenge pack. Okay, that's $150 commission. In month 2, those same 3 people, let me start here. In month 2, you help 3 more people. That's another $150. And then the people from the first month, if they continue on Shakeology, you're going to get another $96 from their reoccurring order. So now you're at a total of $246. By month 3, let's say you help another 3 people get started, $150. If those original 6 people have continued on Shakeology, you're at $192 for a total of $396. So that is, if you added up your first 3 months, that's $800 extra income now that you've earned in your first 3 months as a coach. That doesn't include if you are an Emerald coach and you're hitting Success Club, you are going to be getting customer leads. If you're hitting Success Club 10, you're going to get what they call Success Club leads. It's a little bit different. So Success Club 5, which is the first level, those are customers that you'll have their information. They've maybe signed up for a free trial or something, and they get assigned to you as a coach. But if they ever order in the future, you get the commission. If you're hitting Success Club 10, meaning you help about 5 people get started, then you're going to get the leads, whereas maybe someone ordered Shakeology, you're going to get that commission right from the start. So I'll get like 1 to 2 Shakeology leads a month, an extra $32 to $64 a month. Make sense? Not bad for hitting my goal the month prior, but you have to be Emerald. All right. So that's your goal, is always thinking, okay, help 3 people a month get started, get to Emerald. What now? What do we do next? So I have my coach training on Thinkific. Kimberly has a no coach training for you to plug into as well. But figure out what your next step is to continue learning. My training is on the Dream Big team page. If you check the pinned post, there's a link for it. I've got a new coach training there and also an Emerald training. Then you want to make sure that you're committing to your program. We've talked about this over and over again. Drink your shake every day and 10 minutes of personal development. I do want to say about committing to your program, because while we have Beachbody On Demand and we have lots of programs, I am a firm believer in picking a program and following the calendar, not bouncing around. Because these programs are designed by trainers to take your body through a process. And so I continually, for 6.5 years, have been working through a program. Unless it's like a week or two gap because I'm waiting for the next program to release, I may bounce around at that point. But other than that, I am always following a calendar. It keeps me on track because it's like, okay, I don't feel like working out today, but it says today's leg day. I'm going to do it anyway. It keeps me pushing and moving forward. And I've got to show people that this works if you follow it. If you're bouncing around, it gets confusing for people, right? So pick a program, follow it, start to finish. Take your before and afters. Begin sharing your journey. Don't wait until you have the after to share your journey. Just start now. Kristen, you're on here. She started sharing her journey right after we did our Getting Started Right call, and she's doing an amazing job with it. So you don't need to be at your goal, or you don't need to have already finished a program to start putting that information out there. Another one of my coaches has been with me for a few years, Leslie Fiskus. She started with 21 Day Fix, and she started putting little nuggets out there on Facebook as she was doing it, and people started watching that. And then when she got to the end of 21 days and she was like, bam, here's the difference. They were like, I've been watching you. How do I sign up? So she started jabbing. That's what that means. You're sharing little nuggets about it, and then the hook will be like your call to action. Don't get overwhelmed. We gave you a lot of information tonight. You probably are overwhelmed, but don't let that overwhelm stop you. I still get overwhelmed sometimes, like with different things I want to do and accomplish, and that you just have to just start taking action, create your to-do list, and start chipping away at it, and you can only get so much done in a day, but win the day. Every day connect with 3 people. And if you're connecting with people and inviting and following up every single day, you win the day. Okay. This business is really built just one conversation at a time, one Facebook post at a time or Instagram, one invite at a time, one power hour at a time. And sometimes it feels a little mundane. You're going to have days where you show up and you'll do your power hour, and there's many days where I don't sign up a coach, or I don't get a yes, or I don't get a new challenge pack sold. But I've planted the seed. That doesn't mean my business wasn't moved forward. I've been connecting with people, and that's part of the process. All right. Anything else, Kimberly?
No, I think everyone is
I think
probably
we've talked it.
but I do think this is a great place to start. So, and just to reiterate what Kristen said at the end, like just stop waiting to be ready. Like a lot of people wait to be ready. Like I gotta go now. You're like, oh, I gotta go through all that training now, or I gotta do all these scripts, or I gotta learn everything I need to know about Instagram. Like I am new at Instagram. I built everything on Facebook. So Instagram overwhelms me day to day. But I can't wait to know everything about Instagram, because if I did, it'll change by the time that I learn it all. So I just have to make it messy. Like just jump in there, learn from your mistakes, see what works, see what doesn't work, track it. Just like with your nutrition, you track it and you see if anyone's on doing 2B mindset, like that's the whole idea. You track it and like, that didn't work. I'm not going to do that again. I do that with my business all the time. Just track what works and what doesn't. Like sometimes I even send invites. I'm like, this is not working. Like people are not liking this. They're not responding. So you just have to change it up, but that's just part of it. So.
Yep, absolutely.
All right,
guys. Thank you, Kimberly.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I will get the recording up. All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.